What's up guys, it's Ivan, and today I'm going to take you along with me on another day of my life as a PhD student in the Education Studies Department at the University of California, San Diego. As you may already know, I am doing my first year remotely here in Washington State. This morning, I'm actually a little bit late, but I had to wake up to attend a webinar for one of my classes. The webinar started at 9, it's 9:30, so I'm probably gonna have to re-watch the recording just because I do have to write a reflection on this presentation. So I'm gonna show you a little bit about that right this morning. So the name of the talk is The Equity Stakes of Methodological Norms, How IRBs and Anonymity Reinforce Racism by Dr. Moses. So I'm already late, I think he's already ending, so I'm gonna have to definitely re-watch the recording.
Want to be named in the research study as a form of agency. So for higher education researchers like myself, choosing to not anonymize a research site may be more feasible to do in comparison to our...
Alright, so the talk ended, like I mentioned, I was late. It only lasted 40 minutes, so I had already missed 20 minutes of it. So I think I'm just gonna re-watch it. To be honest, I had no clue what the speaker was speaking about, and so I need to go back and rewatch the recording. They did have a private session, like a conversation with the speaker, just for doctoral students in the department. But I chose to log off just because, you know, I wasn't really paying attention. I came late, so I didn't want to be put on the spot and be kind of like forced or highly encouraged to ask a question. So I ended the call, and so right now I am going to actually prep for my week. I know it's Tuesday, but I haven't really done anything PhD wise. To be honest, I have been really unmotivated lately, and I don't know if it's because I don't have that much to do or because I'm not stressed yet in terms of having assignments due, but I've been really unmotivated, so I'm just gonna start my work today on a Tuesday. This spring quarter, I only have classes on Tuesday and Wednesday, and so I only have to read articles for 2 of the 3 classes. Luckily, one of my third class that I'm taking that I don't have to read for is quantitative methods. I do have some homework though that I have to complete today. It's not homework that we have to turn in, but it's practice problems, and I want to get through those today because this class actually is scary. It's today at 5, and so it's actually scary because he cold calls on you, and so I want to make sure that I'm prepared and that I know what I'm doing at least somewhat. That way I'm able to answer some of the questions he might ask me. But I will do that after lunch. Right now, I'm going to just write down my tasks, my readings for the week. I did do some readings last night for one of my classes, but I want to finish up the readings for that class tonight and just kind of see what I have to complete this week for my classes. I do have some papers coming up because we are approaching week 4 and 5, and so that's like midterm season, so I do have some papers coming up that I want to prep for as well, and I want to write those down on my note card. That way I'm able to know what to do moving forward this week. So let's go over the plan for this week. So right here on my note card, I outlined my 3 classes, as you can tell. So for my EDS 297 course, my Higher Education Systems and Policies class, I do have to complete a couple of homework assignments. So I have to rewatch that video that I opened up with for this vlog. I have to write a reflection paper that's about 1 page. Then I have to read 3 articles for the course and preparation for next week. This week, I actually don't have this class. So the class, I'm supposed to have it today at 2 p.m. But my professor ended up canceling it in order for us to attend the talk. And so next week, we will discuss the talk and the readings for this week. So I have to make sure that I don't put those readings aside and wait till next week because I have another pair of readings for next week that I also have to read for this class. So I have to do that this week. For my EDS 255 Advanced Quantitative Methods course, that class I do have today, which is Tuesday at 5 p.m. And so like I mentioned before, I have to do some practice problems, and then this class doesn't require any readings, so that's really good. Then my last course is EDS 253, Transforming Systems and Policies. And so for that class, I do have 3 readings for this week, as well as I need to start my policy brief abstract because that is due next week, but I should be starting the research this week. That way I know what I'm going to be writing about, because this is a small portion of my final for this course. I did do 2 of the 3 readings last night, so I am going to read the last reading this tonight. That way I'm able to focus tomorrow on some other tasks. And then on my other section here, I do have, like I mentioned in previous vlogs, I do facilitate weekly workshops for undergraduate students. So this week I'm focusing on grad school application workshops. And so I'm gonna be creating my PowerPoint and my presentation for that. And then I also have to do some assessment work for my job as a graduate student researcher. So I am going to work on this assessment form that we have to submit to the institution for approval. And so I'm gonna work on that. Good news about the assessment: the last couple of quarters I've been working on an IRB application, which actually got approved earlier this quarter, and so now I'm ready to move on with the next phases of the assessment, which the next phase is interviewing students. And so I will be conducting interviews sometime in the next couple of weeks for the spring quarter. On the back side, I outlined what I'm going to do on what days. So on Tuesday today, I'm going to work on quant practice problems, my last reading tonight, and then the PowerPoint for the OLC, the facilitation I have to do for this week workshops. And then I outlined the rest of the material, so I should be done by Friday, if not sooner. Okay, now that I finished outlining my week, I feel a lot much better, a lot more organized. And so right now I'm actually going to take a lunch break. I'm going to be eating some sandwiches, watching some YouTube videos, and then right after my lunch, I like to give myself at least an hour for lunch. And I like to take my lunch at noon every single day just to be consistent, especially now that I'm, at home, working from home, completing school from home. I need to have some consistency. And so I always take my lunch at noon. And then I give myself an hour, so noon to 1, and then I will start on the practice problems because I need to prepare for my 5 p.m. class. And so I'll work on that right after my lunch. I spent way too much time watching YouTube videos and just relaxing. My class does start in 3 hours, so at 5 p.m. And this class is the Advanced Quantitative Methods course. Right now I'm going to prepare for that course. We did get some homework that's not graded. It's just for us to practice. But I know he's going to ask us some questions about the practice problems. And so he does cold calling, and last week I didn't get cold called. And so I know for a fact he's going to call on me today. So I want to prepare prepare for that class. So I'm going to go ahead and work on those practice problems. I did work on these practice problems last week on Friday with one of my classmates, and we went through some of them, but I want to just review and maybe take some notes because I didn't take some notes last time, because I know I'm going to be called on and I'm nervous, and I just want to make sure that I am able to at least answer one of his questions. Because if I say I don't know, he's going to come back to me and keep asking me questions. So I want to make sure that I am prepared. And also my strategy when it comes to cold calling, we don't get cold called a lot in my PhD program because we are education and we don't believe in that method. But I don't know why this professor is doing this method. Honestly, I hate it, but I can't change it. So what I'm going to do is I might just volunteer at the beginning. He's probably going to ask us to share some of the ways that we tackle the practice problems. So if I volunteer, he might not call on me later on in the class. So that's the plan for right now. So I'm going to spend at least an hour or two working on practice problems. Then I'll take a break right before class, maybe grab some snacks, grab a drink. That way I'm able to just relax before the class actually starts. So last week we learned the power of simple analysis. We're doing statistics, so we just learned the basics. So we learned about frequencies, we learned about correlations, and so the professor wants us to go down here and run some analyses, basic analyses. He gave us the variables, and all we have to do is run the frequencies, the mean, median, standard deviation, range, minimum, and maximum, and then we have to interpret the results for ourselves. And so I'm going to take some notes on that. He did give us some other variables to do. He also wants us to do crosstabs, correlations. These are things that I did learn last quarter in the introduction to quantitative research methods. And so I'm going to run some of these. That way I am able to participate in the discussion this afternoon. So I'm going to run this database, and I'm going to use SPSS, so I'm able to run the analyses. So I finished my practice problems. I think I know what I'm doing, but at this point I don't really care because my class is in 1 hour. I want to rest before 5 p.m. comes. And it is what it is if I understood it or not. If I get cold called on, I'll just be honest and say, I don't know, or at least attempt it, and then he can correct me. I'm about to log in to my advanced qualitative analysis course, and I'm freaking nervous because he's gonna call on me today. Just wait. Alright, update. So right now I'm on a 5-minute break from my advanced quantitative class. Guess what? I got cold called. I didn't know what the fuck I was saying, and yeah, it was so freaking embarrassing. He helped me out, but I felt like a child. It's the worst method. So if you ever become a teacher assistant, a teacher, or if you teach at the college level in the future, don't freaking cold call your students. Alright, so the class ended, and right now I'm just really tired. It's about 7:30. I'm just gonna relax for a bit. I'm gonna read my last reading for tomorrow's class. I'm gonna end the vlog here, and I will see you in the next video.